to kind of move the conversation like to kind of the next step, and this is something I'm kind of struggling with at the moment. So bear with me as I kind of workshop this live. But there were two Vox articles I think that kind of like played against each other. One was the power of these videos to change things, which again, jury is totally out on whether changes happen. Jury convicted Chauvin of murder, but we still don't know if like we're actually going to change these like systems. And then the second counterpoint to that is this commodifying of people's trauma into like this like almost like entertainment-ish like twisted sort of event, which is obviously, I mean, I read an article that was saying like, you know, this is really bad and we don't need to do this and we shouldn't keep doing this. So I wonder, because I've recently had the horror of watching a lot of police videos, body cam footage that a lot of which isn't public, about policing. And it's like, I mean, I can in a 2-year period in Oklahoma City, I could see 20 George Floyds. Like, just is that pervasive. Like, the Oklahoma City police literally on a monthly basis are like doing something that could easily fall, if just a couple details were slightly different, could have easily fallen under this. And they routinely respond to stuff that does not need to end with deadly force with absolutely deadly force. And so, like, I don't know which path, like, to take. Like, do we use the power of this to, like, really indict these folks and try to seek change? Do we not traumatize everyone over and over to achieve, like, these very marginal wins? Like, what? I just don't know what to do with, like, a lot of this stuff, to be perfectly honest.
I don't watch them anymore. I don't need to.
Yeah.
Frankly, I didn't need to start fucking watching them. I didn't need videos to show me how violent and destructive policing in America is. I've lived that, right? So I don't need to see videos of that. And it brings an intriguing, like, age-old question. Like Martin Luther King had some teenagers marching, and Malcolm X took great offense to that in the civil rights movement, and like publicly panned him for that, right? I think, me being a pragmatist, I think a lot of people do need to see him, and that's unfortunate. And I say that pragmatically. A lot of people do need to see him because, as we said a couple weeks ago, you just don't got to listen to black folks. And so since and with the I can breathe now, this is over now, the justice system works now, there's no greater tale that they still don't want to listen to black folks. So, and we need them to change this, right?
Yeah.
And so, in terms of just pragmatism, the videos need to be available for people who need to see it, who, for whatever reason, need more evidence or more motivation to address state-sanctioned violence for whatever reason. But for people like me, I don't, and a lot of my friends, like, we don't watch those anymore. Like with the Bryant slaying in Columbus, I ain't watch it, and I'm not gonna watch it.
Yeah.
I'll read up on it, and I have read up on it a lot, and it's how I know. And I saw some still shots, so I shouldn't say I know. I'm very confident that that police officer will face no consequences for it.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna watch it. And I think essentially it should be a matter of choice for people, because I think they do have that value. Unfortunately, that they still have value that they're needed in that way. But personally, I don't watch them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it makes me sick to my stomach every time I see it. And I understand that pain and that torture and, you know, the emotional trauma is way more severe for people of color than like my poor little white girlness. But it's like, I saw it at the gym. Like, I was in the middle of like burning some calories, and then like all of a sudden they're showing the video again. And it's like, I think that I mean, this video is of a man being murdered, and that needs reverence. Like, you need to understand it. You should not be on your elliptical being like, oh yeah, this is that dude. Like, they need to be available. And I agree with Ron. And, I think that's like something that people need to see. And unfortunately, we do need these people to see these to understand the issue, and we need them to fight the issue. And I understand that. I have such an issue with it being like on all the time. Like I I I, I just keep thinking of his daughter, and maybe that's because I'm a woman, maybe that's because like I was a nanny, I don't know. But it's like, how can you avoid it? Like, I was watching Sesame Street the other day with one of the kids I nanny, and all of a sudden it was like they were showing pictures and they were showing stills, and it's like, that's horribly traumatizing to like interject um these moments of pain and suffering like on an everyday basis, just like you would see a Cheez-It commercial.
Yeah. No, and yeah, I mean, it's like, I don't know if, like, with some of the political will stuff, if it's kind of like with schools where you're like, oh, the system's the problem. I agree with it. But our guys locally are great, like, I don't have any issues with them. Because I don't know. I can't. Or if it's just, I mean, just massive amounts, especially here, of just racism and, hatred of the other. Because, I mean, I just watching reading these reports and watching these body cams, I mean, it's just like every single one of them almost did not need to happen. And they're just straight up murders, but because somebody was holding a knife or a gun or, not responding in a normative way. I mean, it's just DA finds no fault and they get to go on their way. And it's just, I mean, it's absolutely unhinged. And again, going back to like the system, I mean, what has convinced me beyond, I mean, obviously just beyond care for my fellow human and not wanting a system of state violence, is how there's like, this never happens like in other countries. Like, I mean, if a cop shot and killed a 15-year-old in another country, I mean, they would probably like disband the entire police force and like send them all home and redo it, because like something had gone that wrong. Like, it's just how low the bar for accountability is in America.